Okay, I've had a lot of people suggest this video, so I'm gonna show you guys every step I take whenever I am making stuff for Teagle. Today I will be making a Jolly Ball, and for new Blender viewers, I recommend starting something small like a Jolly Ball too. So my plan is to show you guys how to mesh, UV unwrap, and rig. And first off, I'm going to say that I am in the Blender 3. I think this is 3.45. Not quite sure, but I know it's 3. And I do all my meshing in 3. I just find it a lot easier than 2. But whenever we get to the rigging part, we will be using 2.79. So, just a forewarning, I sound like crap because I feel like crap. I am currently fighting an upper respiratory infection. So, we're first going to start off by getting some mesh. You can press Shift A, that is your hotkey to get to your beautiful, delicious mesh. And we're going to get a sphere. And, like I said before, we're going to make a Jolly Ball. And there are a couple ways of doing this. I, for one, am super lazy. So we're going to do it the mirror way, which is my favorite way. So I'm going to put a mirror modifier on. I'm going to make sure my axis is on Y because I'm going to be working on the Y vertice or Y axis. And I'm going to delete half of this cube real quick. I am in wireframe. Wireframe is really good at collecting all those delicious vertices. And I just want to double check, make sure I got all the vertices, because right here I was missing one. And then at the bottom I was missing some. Now you're going to see it on the other side. That's because we have our mirror up. As you can see, take it away, boom, bam, it goes away too. And I'm going to mess with this a teeny tiny bit. I'm going to mess with this too. This basically just has it where in a select area, your vertices will move off too. You can expand this. I don't know exactly the key to do it. Once I figure it out, I'll put it in the comment section below. But I want this to have more of a flat top to it. So I'm going to just double check that real quick, make sure it actually looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. I think I'm going to have it where I'm going to select these and then just go to scale. Have this look a little less bally. Is that even a word? It's a word now. We're not going to do that, but let's see here. That's pretty decent. That's what I was trying to do. And we're just going to attach this as close as we can, try not to overlap. If we do overlap, that's fine. I can fix that later. For this tutorial, you know what? I'll just have it where there's a little bit that is popped out. Just so you know, there are going to be some parts of this video where I'm probably not going to talk that much. It's mostly because I'm concentrating, but I'll do my best to try and talk to you guys. So, we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to extrude these vertices. And then we're going to extrude again. And to extrude, you just press E. I should probably say that real quick so somebody isn't just like, Lucid, you didn't tell me how to do X. Yeah, again, I do apologize. I am fighting this cold, so my brain is not here. But, yeah, you extrude it to here. I'm going to leave it blank for here right now, because now I want to take these faces and I'm going to delete these faces. You could do that by just placing it into this mode, and you're able to grab faces. This is for your face, this is for, I call them lines. I'm sure there's a different name for them, but your lines, and then your actual vertice. So now I'm decently happy with that. I do kind of want to make the ball itself a little bit smaller. So I'm going to set myself up and press C to get to this circle. This circle too is pretty fun and easy because it grabs everything within the set radius, which is good for me because I only want all these to be yoinked. Press S and it should bring everything down. And then we'll just bring this together. And now it just kind of looks like a weird demon head, but that's fine. Come back into wireframe and then just move this. Make sure everything is selected. Move, rotate. These vertices, I do want them to be bigger because it kind of looks a little funky right now, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. It looks pretty good now. Okay. So I am pretty happy with this. Let me just edit this area real quick. Because if a horse's mouth is going to touch this, I want to make sure that they have a nice, well-opened bar. In fact, we'll probably just move this up altogether. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to object mode and apply your modifier. And now the mesh is fully there. And now I want this to connect. So I'm going to collect these vertices and I'm going to press F. And looky there. Some beautiful, gorgeous mesh appeared. I'm just going to do that again. And again. And the reason why I'm only going at so many vertices is because if you just select everything, because I know somebody's going to ask, and you press F, it kind of looks okay, but trust me, if I were to put, where is that? Face orientation. Sometimes it has it where the face orientation is different. But if you see, there's also just no line here, and while it's fine with sculpting for that not to be there, I kind of like having the lines there because it helps with UV unwrapping, I should say. But also, yeah, that's also how you get to your face orientation. Blue is good, that means that your texture is facing outwards. Red is bad, it means it's going to face inwards. So now we're just going to go here, and I call it sewing in. That's technically not the true term for it, you're just adding faces, but to me it feels like I'm sewing, so I'm going to call it that. And you're going to watch me do it. Every painstaking vertice because you watch this video. And I see you, Jeffrey. I saw you. You're looking at when the video is going to go to the next part. Don't be like Jerry. Oh, see, I messed up right there. If you want to select multiple faces, by the way, just press shift. That's how you do it. You can also deselect that way too. But sometimes it's a little easier to select and deselect. And we're halfway there already. If you are still here, I am proud of you. That means you have not fallen into the TikTok brain rot. For those who are not here, I am very disappointed in you. Probably gonna go and make this a little closer together at the end. But we'll work on that once I finish sewing. Also, if I do find a way to make this go by faster, I will also tell you how to do it. Because a fun fact about me, I don't like holding secrets. Anyways, your jelly ball is done. Look at that. Marvel at it. Look at you. You made this by yourself. Good job. I'm proud of you. You deserve a kiss. Mwah. Normally, whenever you're doing mesh, you don't want triangles. But this is a ball, so who the fuck cares? But if you're weird and you don't like triangles, because why would you? Just delete that shit. And then you can do your face thing I taught you. And I'm gonna do it. You don't have to. I'm just going to experiment, because I haven't done this before. And why not experiment in the middle of a tutorial video, huh? That seems like the smart thing to do. Boop. The funny thing is that I actually just saved myself so many vertices by doing that. And it looks cleaner. So we're going to keep it. In fact, I'm going to make this go. Let me see if this looks good if we pop it up. It doesn't. We're going to keep it down low. It looks bad, and now I feel bad. Let's go fix the bottom then. Boop. Normally, I would say use your C and do the circle thing, but since there's all these vertices, I say it's probably not the best idea. Boop. Okay. Alrighty. So congratulations, you made it to this far in the video. Now we're going to take our ball. I'm just going to shrink this a bit. Because I can. Actually, just make sure that actually looks good. It looks decent. Oh, look at there. Look what happened. What the hell? Oh, I touched that at the same time. That would be why. Let me get rid of you. I don't want to talk to you. This is why you check your mesh. Okay, cool. So now we have our beautiful mesh. I'm going to check to see what it looks like in Shade Smooth. Okay, that looks pretty good. I like it. I like it. I think a horse would like that. It's not really a ball, it's more of an oval, but who the fuck cares? It's your ball. Do what you want with it. That being said, I'm going to make the handle just a little bit bigger, because I'm going to have it where this is rigged for the Teagle horse, so that people can put it in their horse's mouth. Because horses like balls. And shut up. Weird. If you thought anything other than just seeing a horse play with it. Get your mind out of the gutter. Anyways, let's do UV unwrapping. Now there are a few ways that you could do UV unwrapping. One is you could just do select all and you could deal with just this. That's technically a UV unwrap. But here's another couple ways you could do it. You could do smart UV and just give yourself like a margin and stuff. And it'll do this, where it UV unwraps for you, but as you can see, it's all over the place. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe a cube. Don't do that. Maybe cylinder. No. Sphere. That just looks like the start of a math equation. So we're not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to show you guys how to mark your own seams. Now, this might not work on your very first try. Most of the time it doesn't. But you usually look at your mesh and you try to find what I call a vein. And a vein is somewhere on your mesh that, well, you could draw safely around the entire thing. Or at least halfway around your thing. I like this vein right here. I think this is a good vein, so we're going to try it out. So I'm just going to select all of this. And we're going to go down to our little circle path right here. Very good. I'm going to go to the other side and make sure I select the right parts. Okay, very good. So now I'm going to press U and mark seam. So now whenever I am in edit mode, you're going to see your seam is marked. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know what else to tell you. And now you could press A, U, and unwrap. That actually, to me, that actually looks pretty good. To a lot of people, they're like, okay, what the fuck is that? Well, you can actually use these arrows right here. And I already have mine set, but whenever you select everything, you can grab specific parts and it'll show you. I'll try it over here. Sir, why aren't you turning on? There we go. Had it off. But I can get my circle tool out by pressing C, and it's going to tell me which part of the model is which. So this is a fairly easy model. So it doesn't need a super complex UV towards it, especially since this is going to be something that's going in a horse's mouth. It doesn't need a lot of detail, just a super, like a jelly ball logo on it, and you're good. So I'm decently happy with this UV. If you are not, you can just use the same steps again, get rid of this seam, and make a new seam. If you're if you don't know how to make unmark a seam, you could just press Control Z and it will unmark it eventually. Which, since I don't know how to repeat, hold on, how do you repeat? You can't read it, okay. Since I'm pretty happy with this, actually, I already know this one works. Let's try another one. We'll try this one. And try to remember that Blender is basically unwrapping this so a 3D object is seen in a 2D view set. Again, you just mark your seam, select everything, unwrap. Let's see how that looks. I don't like that one. I'll be honest with you, fam. But if you like it, you like it. Good, congratulations. We'll go back to the one that I like. If you like that one, by all means, go for it. This is a ball. We're not making a horse avatar. We're just making a ball. So alright. So now we're going to do new. I like setting mine to white because I'm weird. And then, of course, you just go over and you save it. This is where you go. You could save your documents. I'm going to save it in this folder. We're going to save it as Jelly Ball. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't show the lines, in which case I would just screenshot your UV is selected, but it should work just fine with that. So, we made our mesh now, and if you got to this point, you're happy with your mesh. If you haven't, you're probably still screaming. Now, in SL land, you generally want something to, you know, be low land impact, which means you want low poly. But in case you ever wanted to look quote-unquote smoother, you can just subdivide it. Looky there. It looks pretty. I actually like it. So I'm going to apply it. Now what I just did there was I added more vertices. A lot of vertices. But hey, your UV will still work. It's just going to look a little different now. Let me see if I can decimate some of these vertices, because we do not need that many. We just really needed it in the handle. Sometimes when you select, you could put a modifier called decimate. And it will do what it says. It will decimate it. Now, once again, I don't really like seeing triangles, so I think that looks good, and it keeps the shape that I originally wanted to. So now I just decimated it, and now there's less vertices. Okay. But now your UV is going to look a little bit different, so now I'm going to have to resave it. I could do image, Save as. Get our new folder. I don't see it, so we're just going to rename it again. Jellyball UV. Okay. So now we're on to the fun part, which means that now would be the part where you're going to go and select your mesh. You're going to go to Export, Caladia, and you're going to name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it Jellyball, because it's a jelly ball. And now, yes, I was watching a video in Blender. I'm going to go to 279. Hopefully my OBS picked it up. Yes, it did. Hooray. And we're going to select a blend file. We'll do Percheron, because I got to work on the perch anyway. And we're going to go over to File, Import. And this was in my Documents file. And let me find it. Jellyball. And it's going to be pretty big. So you can just press S and shrink that boy down. And now I'm going to move it to where I'm going to rig it. So, of course, this is going in a horse's mouth, which means that we got to put it in the horse's mouth. Okay. So now it's rigging time, the most beautiful time, the time where you will be screaming and pulling your hair out. Well, probably won't, but for me, I do. Armature modifier. Use eyedropper. Select the bones. The bones are these lines right here. These beautiful lines. As you can see, I just made a weird neck thing. You're going to select your mesh. Shift. Select the bone. Control. P. Select parent to empty groups. Go back to your mesh. You're going to see this little triangle over here. You're going to see all these vertex groups. You're going to delete all of them, because I'm too lazy for me to look through all this and find mjaw. This part takes a while. But as you could see while you were deleting those, some of those had an M in front of it, and some of them didn't. M bones are SL bones. Those are the ones that you actually want to set your vertex to. I'm going to add one real quick, and we're going to select this bone, because this is the bone I'm going to be rigging to. So this bone is called the face jaw. It says it right here. So, capital F, jaw. Okay. I'm going to put an M in front of that. So M, face, jaw. Make sure your punctuation is correct, because Blender is like that one English teacher you had in 4th grade. They do not care if you are a brand baby, you new to the world. They will scream at you for messing up your spelling. So now, weight paint time. We're on to this bone. I wanted to only listen to this specific bone. So we're going to go to our tools here. I'm going to set our radius up. We're going to go to add. And I want this to really pay attention to this bone, which means it's going to be red. Red in Blender in rigging is good. It means it is strong. It means it will listen the most. Blue means it's not going to listen. Varying degrees of that mean that it's going to listen to different things. So, face jaw is not listening to this. So let me make sure I did it right. I did do it right. And your weight painted, so Sir, why are you not paying attention? Of course, I still scream at this constantly. You should be paying attention to this, but apparently it's not. Which is fine. We just gotta subtract it all. Usually when it's dark blue like this, it means it's not weight painted, which means it's not going to listen. I want this entire mesh to listen to this jawbone because if the horse moves its mouth, I want the ball to move with it. So, we're going to just figure this out together, huh? Maybe we'll try green. Okay. Let me try something for shits and giggles. No. Okay, so it wasn't that. Okay. Well, you should be listening. Let me try this out. That would be why right there. I am dyslexic. And, remember how I told you that Blender does not care if you mess up your punctuation because it will not listen? Well, I just gave you a perfect example because, this bone, I just realized, has a capital J. Now it's rigged. I love Blender. Blender is fun. You should tell your friends about Blender. Anyways, this is rigged now. I don't need face for it, I just need the jaw. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Because a big horse needs a big ball. Shut up. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so now we're gonna bring this ball to SL. Let me just mess with the horse's face real quick. Okay. It works. So, now your armature is complete. You're done. You rigged a jolly ball. So now we're going to export it again. And now it's going to go into this file because this is where I put all my rigging shit in. So, I'm going to name it different. Jelly ball, rigged, and perch. And we're going to save that. Now we're going to go over to SL. As you can see, I'm sitting my fat butt in Briarwood, because Briarwood's pretty chill. Build, upload, mesh model. You can find it right here. And here it is, right here. Rigging, include joint positions, don't worry about all that. And the level of detail is pretty low. I have a feeling this is going to be like maybe 2-3 land impact. You're just going to upload it. It's going to name it what you named your mesh, since it was originally a sphere. It's going to be named sphere. I'm going to rename it to Harith Jolly Ball Perch Rig. And since I'm wearing a perch right now, I can just plop it on. And as we can tell, because my horse is moving around, it's doing its thing. Of course, it's going to show up white because there's no mesh or texture on it. For texturing, That's just when you go to whatever you use for your texture UV mapping. I use Fire Alpaca. So we're going to open Fire Alpaca. Yes, I have a lot of art. This is me randomly sketching on different places. Hey, there's a HUD. Oh look, a creature. Look at this man. I love him. We're going to open up our file. Eyeball UV. Okay, that's white. That's not what I wanted. That's why I kept this up. So, there's a video out there that tells you how to have it where the wireframe is up in your thing so you could save it. I'm not about to find that. So I'm going to show you how I do it. You get your snipping tool and you snip it. You copy that shit, you put it in your program. New view clipboard. And then you just do this. And bam. Copy layer. New via clipboard. There it is, whoop-de-doo. So since this is the actual fucking UV, I'll save it as the actual fucking UV. And of course, Fire Alpaca is like, oh, save it as an MDP file. Fuck you and your MDP files. Now I'm just going to do a local texture. Since this is not going to be PBR, because I don't know how to do PBR. I don't have Substance Painter yet. I'm too broke. We're doing Blend Fong. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. Go to your local, add Jolly-Ball UV. Look, it's right there. Okay, so it's going to look like that for now. I wanted it to look like that for now. We're going to go over to Fire Alpaca, and we're going to do blue. We're going to make this Jelly Ball blue. We're going to make it, that looks like a pretty blue. I like that blue. I'm going to have this go on top onto a soft light layer. That's why I can see through it. And then this one, we're going to just put a little bit of shadow on it. And if you are an art kid, you already know the steps to shadows. But shade your shit in purple. It looks better. Multiply it. Turn down the opacity a little bit. You know the rules of art. If you don't know the rules of art, that's fine. I'm not about to teach you how to art in a Blender video where I'm going over every single step. And because the horse's mouth is going to be right there, I'll put a little shade right there. And then for lighting, you generally want to go on the lighter side. Have it like that. Your eyes are bleeding right now. Mine are too. Soft light that shit. I usually have that under the shading layer. And then we'll just take away the UV. We'll save it. And it looks like shit. So then you just go back and forth. Or if you're a stupid, dumb, lazy person like me, you would just make this your shade layer, and then you just do your highlights on a different layer. Look at there. Now it's all pretty. And of course I can add some dirt and slobber specks, so I'll do that. Pull up my UV because I kind of want it relatively even. Darts generally on this color. Goes through all my freaking brushes. That might work. No, it won't. That might though. Yeah, that's a nice good mud texture. And it's going to look like shit at first because I just painted around and it's going to show all the UVs, but hey. Sometimes you can get away with it. Like for the most part, that actually looks pretty decent. And yes, I am moving in my chair, fuck you. But yeah, that's basically how you make stuff in Blender. I'm going to keep messing around with my texturing. But yeah, I hope this helped you. If it didn't, I apologize. I'm sure there are plenty of other more donut-themed videos that will help you on your journey. Anyways, this is Lucid, and I'm gonna go die.